Welcome to Logan Ringley Therapy. Stay a while. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing today? I am coming to you from a different spot than I usually do, and it's actually quite fitting for today's video because I have created this little nook area in our guest bedroom where I can kind of get cozy and cuddle up if I want to read a book or work on some things on my laptop. And I've been really trying to utilize this space, and so I thought it would be helpful to shoot a video here too because it's pretty connected to what I'm going to talk about today. I do want to highlight the awesomeness of this new wicker chair I got. I had been on the hunt for a cute wicker chair and I finally found one, and so I am trying to utilize it and come to you from this space. So I'm going to try and I don't know, come up with some cute background area, but for now, oh, and you can see my little pup over here. He's sitting on the bed next to me. He wants to be in the shop, but not today. So today I am talking about the importance of decluttering. So we are going to be on week 5 of the 2019 wellness series, and the topic of today is decluttering. It's a very important topic, but it's also something that's just been like a buzzword right now with so much decluttering and becoming more minimalistic. And I think it's partly because of Marie Kondo, which we will talk about a little bit later on as well. But if you have not seen her Netflix series, Tidying Up, it's pretty awesome. And she gives some really good tips. So I'm going to touch a little bit on that, but I'm going to talk more about the psychological benefits of decluttering. So it is really hard to get motivated to do the things that we need to do, to organize our house, to clean, when we are not feeling motivated to do so. So we get ourselves kind of caught in this conundrum as to, and this cycle towards how do I get motivated to do the things when I'm lacking motivation, but I know that those sort of things will make me feel better when I do them. It's the same with, similar to going to the gym. We know that we're going to feel better when we move our body and we exercise, but it's really hard to get motivated to do so. So this is a very similar situation. So what I encourage is that, sorry, I'm a little bit sick, so I keep running out of oxygen and it's hard to breathe because I have a sore throat and pain in my chest, so I apologize. But the biggest thing that we want to focus on is setting up systems, getting systems in place so that we can work on and practice the skills we need to do. So what I mean by that is set up a time or a place for when you're going to start to work on decluttering. Only pick 1 or 2 places at a time to work on, whether it's daily or weekly or whatever fits into your weekly schedule. And as I mentioned, the Marie Kondo Netflix series gives some really good ideas on how to declutter. So I'm not going to really touch on the different ins and outs of how you should declutter or what you should declutter, but more the importance of decluttering our house, our space, and therefore decluttering our mind. When we sit in a space that has a lot of things, a lot of distractions, a lot of things to focus on, not having a clear space where we can work or eat or cook or sleep, then we can feel really overstimulated and we can feel really overwhelmed by the space around us. So the big things, and this is a little bit different than just tidying up or putting things away. This is really getting rid of the things that are not benefiting us, as Marie Kondo says, that are not bringing us joy. Sometimes we hold on to things for a long period of time because we think that they're necessary or we need them, and then they just take up space and collect dust, and they don't become helpful to us. So I would encourage that you pick room by room or space by space and go through and figure out what it is that you really need and what you don't need. When we declutter and when we empty out space around us, we have more space in our physical environment and in our mind to be creative and to be focused and to focus on the things that bring us happiness. And this also can be places like, so your bedrooms, your kitchen is a huge place, living room, your car, that place can often get very cluttered. We can bring things, especially if we're like going to and from work or in our car a lot for traveling or for commuting. We tend to live out of our car a lot of the times. And so things get shoved under the seats and all these things that we don't realize are even there. And then we haven't used them for months. So they're clearly not that important or that helpful. Just chuck them, get rid of them. We don't need them in our space. And so part of this wellness series, and the reason I'm touching on this topic is because we are focusing on different ways that we can clear our space, our environment. We can create new habits. We can focus on what we eat and what we do and how we sleep and our routine, all these external things that we can do that will hopefully help our internal physical and mental state. So I'm really having us work on external things that we can control. The hardest part with anxiety is that we feel like a lack of control. There's so many things in our world that we cannot control. We cannot control the bad things that happen. We cannot control if there's accidents or if people get sick. We can't control if we're going to sometimes get a job or if we lose a job or if something happens to a family member. We can't control those things, and anxiety loves to cling to the fact that we can't control those things. And our brain is constantly putting us in our fight or flight mode and warning us of these things that we cannot do anything about. And it is so incredibly frustrating. And then we get down on ourselves because we can't control the things, and we are focusing on and these intrusive thoughts and hyper-focused on these things that we cannot do anything about, and it is just debilitating at times. So the point of this wellness series and the point of my job in general is to help people learn how to work with their environment around them and work with the skills and tools that they have inside their own bodies to develop these skills so that we can control parts of our world around us to hopefully help us feel better internally. We cannot always predict the really crappy things that happen in our lives. We cannot always predict the things that make us scared, but we can control the way we respond to them, what we do about them, and how to prepare for them when the world around us is so hard to manage. So my whole point of this is to help us gain a better perspective, a new understanding, skills, and tools for us to be able to somewhat control the world around us in the ways that we can, and to learn how to let go of the parts that we cannot. So for today's series episode, I really wanted to focus on decluttering. I personally this year, so we're halfway through February, I have been working on decluttering little areas or organizing little areas. So a huge thing for me that was really causing me some anxiety was the drawers in my kitchen. I had silverware. The silverware was organized, but I had things in like hundreds of different places. I didn't know where different utensils were. I had lids and, knives and all these things in different places. So I went over to Marshall's and I got, I think for $15, these little containers that are like different sizes. So there's like rectangle ones and little square ones. And I put them in my drawers next to my silverware. And then I sorted out, my peeler and my, potato masher and all these things. And I put them in different sections. So when I open the drawer, I know exactly where they are and what's in there. And it looks really organized. And things like that can make me feel just less cluttered. And it's a super small step to take. It's not a very big thing, but it makes it feel cleaner. And then when I'm done, I put it back in its spot. And so then I'm setting myself up for it to continue to stay clean and organized instead of getting lost somewhere. Another area is my, my coffee table in my living room. We've got like a plastic bin underneath that had just a bunch of catch-all stuff. And so I made sure that I got rid of these random things that we weren't using and cleaned out those. Also under the sink was another one. I had a bunch of bottles that were expired of cleaning products. I had some new cleaning products that I hadn't used because they were tucked in the back. So I got those like big, they're square bins that you can use like on shelves. And I put all my new product in there with new clean sponges and gloves and things that I can use for cleaning the house. And now it's organized. And then I feel more motivated to go wipe down counters and clean when I know where all of the stuff is and what I can do about it. and how I can clean it. So little things like that can go a really, really long way. And although they can take time, if you just hack away at it one step at a time, you can get it done in a short period of time if you just commit a half an hour or an hour or whatever time you have in your busy schedule. So decluttering is today's topic, and I would love to hear some tips and tricks you have about decluttering and how you have found decluttering to be helpful when clearing your space and then in turn clearing your mind. When we have a healthy and clean and organized space around us, we tend to operate better. We feel better. We are just more focused. There's less dust, so sometimes we might feel better physically because we're not itchy-nosed or sneezing or having allergies. We tend to just feel all around better. So go check out Marie Kondo's Tidying Up Netflix series. It's really, really awesome. They're like 30-minute episodes. You can watch them while you're tidying up or while you're doing something else or while you're cooking dinner. It's a great way to watch and pay attention to some tips and tricks. She really dives deep into ways you can organize. So that coupled with this video will hopefully get you guys headed in the right direction. And I will look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode. Have a great day.